Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate.
Welcome to Inside the Daily Gist. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for showing up and clicking on this video when you saw it. I appreciate it. March 13th, 2025. As we all know that the government is about to shut down by March 14th. If Democrats do not vote along with the Republicans, and we know the Republicans, they voted, they've dumped it on the Democrats, and they are out. They are not working presently. They're off for 2 weeks. So as y'all heard, Chuck Schumer said, nope, y'all gonna come back because we are not gonna vote on this bill you call a bill. A bill that is just the Republican bill, nothing to do with the Democrat. Democrats have to have a say when it comes to a bill. And y'all do not allow Democrats to have a say, so y'all got to come back because this is how we are going to do it. So the back and forth is still going on, but yeah, let's go listen to how people are feeling. Credits to the original creators of all these clips y'all going to be watching. And we are going to finish our thought at the other side.
Sure looks like it.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. We should vote on that. I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
Now, I know that's a lot of legislative speak from the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and I promise I will interpret what he said for you in just a second. But first, quickly, let me just catch you up to speed. We are scheduled to have a government shutdown this Friday. Yesterday, House Republicans passed what's called a continuing resolution, or a CR. That is a temporary funding bill that would keep the government open from Friday until September 30th. But what Senator Schumer said was correct. This CR that passed in the House yesterday was crafted with zero input from Democrats. Republicans did this on their own. And on top of that, the bill that was passed is not like a normal CR that would keep spending levels at status quo. This CR increases funding levels for defense and immigrations and customs enforcement and cuts hundreds of billions of dollars of spending for things like the Education Department, Health and Human Services, and the Labor Department. The other thing that makes this CR different is the fact that it is going to last for the rest of the fiscal year, 6 more months. Usually CRs are much shorter than that. Democrats have been very upset about this CR for weeks, saying it cuts important government programs and funding, and they say it would just enable President Trump to more easily continue to slash the federal government workforce and federal spending. As you know, though, this is not just about what the House wants. Bills that pass the House also have to pass the Senate, and this one needs 60 votes. Republicans only have 53 members. Do the simple math. They need Senate Democrats to also vote yes if they want to avoid this government shutdown. If at least 7 Democrats do not vote yes, the government shuts down on Friday. Make sense? Okay, now that you know the backstory, here's the interpretation of what Senator Schumer said. He said Senate Democrats do not like this CR, and they are prepared to vote no, which means the bill would fail and the government would shut down on Friday. Senate Democrats do not like that the CR lasts for 6 months, and they do not like that they were not included in crafting the bill. Schumer says instead, Democrats want what's called a clean CR that would only last for 1 month. A clean CR would keep spending levels at status quo. It wouldn't be increasing spending or cutting spending. It would just keep things as they are right now. Now, there are a few complications to all of this. The first complication comes for Republicans, which is that one of their own, Senator Rand Paul, hates CRs, and he has already indicated that he is going to vote no on this one. So technically, it looks like Senate Republicans are actually going to need 8 Democrats to vote yes. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, so it is up to them to find a way to keep the government open. Do they really want the government to shut down on their watch for the first time since President Trump was in office last time? Now, there are also big complications for Democrats. We know Republicans will probably not go for this 1-month CR idea that Schumer is pushing. And Democrats certainly do not have the votes to pass it without. It would need 60 votes as well. We also know that the House went on recess. Now, that recess was technically scheduled, but it was not scheduled for the full week. House Republicans basically called a recess for the full week so they would purposely be out of town when Senate Democrats had to make this choice. The whole idea was to jam them up. Basically, they're daring Senate Democrats to vote no on the CR because, of course, if the House is gone from Washington, D.C., there would be no way, even if the Senate somehow could pass a shorter 1-month continuing resolution, that a government shutdown could be avoided because the House isn't even in town to take up the bill. The other complication is if Democrats do vote no, Republicans are obviously going to blame a government shutdown on them. And one last little complication, some Democrats are even saying that a shutdown may make it easier for Elon Musk to continue to cut the federal work. So the real question is, can Senator Schumer hold his Democratic colleagues together, and do Democrats really have the nerve to vote no and shut the government down? And at the same time, do Republicans really have the nerve, if Democrats are no-go on this, to allow a government shutdown within President Trump's first 100 days? Or is it in their best interest to try and negotiate something? I don't know, but we will know the answer very soon.
Okay, happy Wednesday. So, we are staring at a potential government shutdown at midnight on Friday. The House has passed a bill that even Republicans in the Senate don't like. And as soon as they passed that bill yesterday, Mike Johnson sent his members in the House of Representatives home. They're on recess for 2 weeks. Yeah. So the House passed that bill yesterday afternoon, sent it over to the Senate, giving the Senate 3 days to either pass this bill in its current form or shut down the government. There are a lot of things in this bill that even Republican senators don't like. There are at least 3 of them on record now saying they're not going to vote for it. John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania, Democrat, of course, has said he's going to vote for it. But we have some conflicting interests. What happens if the government shuts down? All non-essential federal workers are sent home. Only essential federal workers still come to the office and do their jobs. What do you think Elon Musk and his little Doge bags think of non-essential federal workers? Donald Trump doesn't want the government to shut down because that'll make him look bad. That'll make Republicans in the House and the Senate look bad. Elon Musk wants the federal government to shut down because it'll make it easier for him to fire all of these non-essential workers. Reporting out of Wired magazine today, citing 4 anonymous government source story that comes as the House is doing their thing. One Republican familiar with the situation told Wired, a shutdown has been Elon's preference. I think he's boxed in there by the president. I think it would be really hard for him to get around that. A second Republican, anonymously, said the billionaire's goal is for the continuing resolution to tank, if only to achieve a brief government shutdown. And he's like, this is not about saving money, right? It's all about destroying the liberal power base of federal workers. And another State Department employee said there are serious concerns that anybody deemed non-essential will be doged, meaning they'll be fired. Yeah, Musk has spoken about removing so-called non-essential workers before, many of whom perform critical tasks like inspecting food, processing applications for benefit programs, collecting weather data, but they're not essential, quote unquote, during a government shutdown. And Elon Musk said in an interview in February talking about this exact subject, if the job is not essential or they're not doing it well, they obviously shouldn't be on the public payroll. Wired also quoted a professor of public policy saying a shutdown is aligned with the goals of DOGE. In the president's executive order, he told DOGE to focus on non-essential employees, which is to say employees as non-essential during a shutdown. So even if they just shut down the government for the weekend and fix it on Monday, Elon Musk, at this point, looks like he's going to fire every non-essential worker. I mean, that's going to be the vast majority of the federal workforce. This is not awesome.
You lizard man Jeffries and Fetterman, we know that you're trying to do it behind closed doors, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, are they essential employees? The politicians, do they not get checks? Like, look, these people want us to be afraid of a shutdown when they are trying to defund everything anyway. So what's the difference? Did you see that they are cutting aid to buy food from local farms? I'll say that again for the people who just hear cuts and go, yeah, that means overspend. They are cutting the funds that allows local schools to buy produce from local farms. So that is harming students and local farmers, and they don't care. They don't care at all. As long as daddy gets to golf. That's the only thing. Kids can go hungry. Let their daddy golf. Okay? Kids can go hungry. Let Tesla get a commercial. So yeah, those people don't want the government to shut down so they can keep shutting it down and defunding it from within. I don't know. But here's the thing. Kodaddy Doodoo has been pushing for a shutdown, and I'm suspicious of anything he supports. It's like I'm suspicious of anything that steeple people support, because they have the filer insurance. They invited tater heads back into the country with welcome arms. They brought back, just straight up criminals, and they will stand behind the pulpits and go, yes, these criminals are our brothers in Jeebah's crust, and they are the bad guys. So anything they support, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to touch that. I'm running in the opposite direction, because y'all are the bad guys. Same thing goes for Kodaddy Dandy Doodoo. So I'm not sure why he also wants to shut down. Probably because it means nobody will be in the buildings, and then he and his guys can just take the USBs and pull everything. But hey, look, at this point, let them do it. They already got everything. Let them take it. And when we're done with this, we will demand a restart. That means fresh socials and everything. And for the people who are going to come in the comments and go, but what about my good credit? Look, this isn't about good credit and bad credit. This is about getting these people out, and this is your damn information. What good is your good credit when Ruski has it? Okay? We all got to make sacrifices. If I can do it again, you could do it again. Let's just do it again. All right? Or let's get rid of it entirely. But y'all, I don't know. What are we thinking? I say they should do it. I say shut it down. Shut it down, and I hope they don't get paychecks. I hope they shut it down, and let's leave it shut down for 4 years. That's the only way we're going to get a test. Let them all stay home for 4 years. Let us run this shit. We'll do it our own Lord of the Flies way. Oh, I don't know, man, but I'm not scared of a shutdown. They want us to be scared of it. It's like you're shutting everything down anyway. Processes are going to be slowed down. Processes are already slowed. People are going to be furloughed. You're already doing mass firings. Like everything they want us to be afraid of in a shutdown, they're already doing or trying to do. So the way I see it, a shutdown just kind of puts it a little more in our court than theirs. I don't know. Someone with a little more knowledge maybe could break it down in the comments. But wouldn't it be interesting if we get a shutdown that coincides with the Veterans March and the Ides of March and the full moon and everything else that's rolling around? I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot all at once. I'm saying, why not go for it? Try something new. Why not go for it? See what happens. Especially, do they not get their paychecks? Can someone double check on that one? I want them to not get their mother-loving paychecks. That's what I want.
So I know we're all enjoying the FAFO phase of this administration. But I came across an article on BuzzFeed, and it was talking about all these federal employees, who've lost their jobs, and some of them voted for, oh boy. And one story kind of caught my eye. It was a young woman who talked about the fact that prior to the election, she had been cut off by her liberal side of the family. Like, she and her parents and some of the family were avid MAGA, right? So her liberal side of the family had kind of already stopped associating with them. So when old boy won, she was excited and she was, in your face, libs, take that, libs. Fast forward, she now has lost her job. She's a federal employee. She's now lost her job. And her parents, who are also MAGA, are super conservative. She's a federal employee. She's now lost her job. And her parents, who are also MAGA, are super conservative. So when she lost her job and she went to go tell her parents that she had lost her job, They told her that was God's will. They told her that by voting for oh boy, whatever happens is God's will for their life. So God is okay with her losing her job and all of that. So she just needs to understand that it's all part of God's plan. Amen. Amen. And then they interviewed, the orange dude, and they asked him about, all the firings of the federal employees and even some of them that voted for him. And that Mickey Vick said, I'm sure they're all very nice people, and I feel bad about it. But the reality, some of them didn't work. They weren't very good workers. They didn't work at all. And my question is, did those people think he was Santa Claus? Did they think he had a list and he was checking it twice and cross-referencing to see who voted for him and who didn't? And then when they asked him about those people getting their jobs back, he was like, no, we're only going to hire the best people from now on. I know that this whole I regret my vote thing, but damn, that's it. Just damn.
Are we headed for a government shutdown in 2 days? Sure looks like it.
Thanks to all the original creators, and thanks to those that stitched this up for us to be able to add our comments to it. What's your thoughts? Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. Yes, do you guys think that the Republicans, they are going to come back from their vacation for them to make a deal rather with Democrat? Or do you think Democrat will just fold arms and just, vote on this bill and keep it moving? Do not forget that this bill that they are fighting back and forth, if Democrats sign into it, like vote for it, it's gonna allow President Donald Trump to be able to have his way for 6 months. And that is why some Democrats say, okay, that is too long. That at least let's vote for a month and come back, then we vote again for something that is going to benefit both Democrats and Republicans in terms of their constituents, you know what I mean, which is the American people. What's your thought? Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section as usual. Please let's respect ourselves while we comment. I appreciate your support always. I will catch up with you guys later. Bye for now.